I'll have the other people come along to support you, but we'll begin anyway. Here we go. How nice of you. Yeah, I think this is the same anyway, so we're gonna... Ooh, you look cute. Introductions are done. Yeah. The victory... Let's go with... Actually, farming's pretty... Interesting, yeah. Okay. Yes, let's give an heir. Let's see if we can actually get an heir this time. What did you miss? I got shot with an arrow and then the counts took over. Because I ran out of treasury and stability. And we've just started a brand new game. Yeah, we basically just started. This is still the first. Micronation. Yeah, they should have done. I think you have joined, yeah. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. If you want to throw me in the river again, go ahead. Nice of you. Ah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know, the extension can sometimes be a bit weird. Yeah. Because it does look like you're in by the number of nobles. So we're going to proceed with a religious ceremony that honours the ninth god. How lovely. In the hallowed halls of St. Bertrand's Cathedral, the Archbishop places the crown upon your head before launching into a sermon. And that is why Pubdad is the king, ordained by divine right, chosen by the ninth god and elevated above all. If the assembled nobles were plotting against you, perhaps the threat of eternal damnation has given them second thought. Probably not. Okay. Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter King Pubdad. How do we make that happen? Let's see the noble list. Yeah, it does say you are in chiefs. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason the... Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the extension. Yeah. With... Yeah, so you have to have the lowest defiance. The chiefs plan to swap the real king for a perfect doppelganger. First, they must gain the trust of the spy master. To advance the scheme, the chiefs must be the region with the lowest defiance in 2 seasons. So you can do that. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honour. We must not allow it to go unanswered. So who's in yellow? Athenry and Ashai Sloth. You can vote on... Ooh, so you could go directly against Yeah, we haven't done that yet. Was the keys I'm wanting to have the lowest defense? No, I haven't chosen a guard yet. I think that's after you've all voted on your schemes. You want to raise your own farming? The grandee claimant Alfonso has been chosen by the ninth god to be the next king. He has promised a first miracle, food for all. To advance their scheme, the grandees must raise their farming to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Well, you're already at 6, that's pretty good. My fellow counts, in ancient times the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while the false King Pupdad wears the crown. What do you want? Highest farming, lower your own faith, or lower your own defiance? Boom. Who's in the counts? Me and Lowe. Get out. Bang. Interesting. Interesting, okay. The counts plan to summon an ancient famine demon that will devastate all other regions, paving a clear path to the throne. First, they must ensure the East can withstand a famine. Advance the scheme, the counts must be the region with the highest farming in 4 seasons. So there are your... See, now I can select an honor guard. Yes. So what are my options? Could go with... Who should I go with? Who wants to buy an honor guard? Tell me, chat. Tell me. These guys, yeah? Okay. Think. Go. There you go. Our warrior heroes arrive a few weeks later. They swagger in with big guns and bigger axes, belching and singing and roaring out unsavory jokes on your country's courtry's faints. Missing noble an invitation. Your Majesty, it is my singular honor to invite you to attend the annual night of the Seven Pyres celebration. Sure, I look forward to attending. Praise the Ninth. I trust you are willing to finance and organize one of the pyres. It's customary for the king to do so if he is in attendance. Sure, I'll make sure it's a night to remember. Well, I look forward to it, Your Highness. Didn't really want to raise your defiance any higher, so I'll attend. I'll spend all my money. Your Holiness, a number of grandees have gone missing in the East. They travelled to Count Lowe castles to negotiate a trade agreement, but they should have returned weeks ago. The missing grandees have never even made it to my lands. They most likely got lost. The East is a dangerous place. Who's gone missing? Anyone I care about? Yeah. The Grandies are missing. Balthazar Common and Grandie a shy sloth. Where could they have gone? Just north of my estate lies the Moldpatter Forest. To the west, Twilight Lakeland, and to the south, Ireland's Haunt. Yeah, I hope you aren't dead. I like to live remotely. Does wonders for the soul. Okay, that's fine. I'm certain that this is some kind of ploy by Count Loe in which, in a few months' time, he'll quietly offer us a ransom. Blood and stars, don't be so foolish. We'll find them. We just have to decide whether to focus our efforts. So where should you look for the missing Grandies? The Moldpatter Forest of Twilight Lakeland, Aileron's Hut, or nowhere? He only said be executed by abducting them. You know, I just think, just as Monarch's choice, we should execute for him for abducting them. Go ahead. Go ahead and vote. Execute him. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Well, because it's my choice anyway. You will be executed for abducting them. Too bad. Off with you, kidnapper. You heard the council. The stunned count is promptly dragged outside to have his head liberated from his shoulders. But after searching his keep, no trace of the missing nobles is found, prompting further fury from the counts. Ooh. Now your nobles are surely dead, but Lowen Winch died for nothing. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, that's two dead. Okay. That wasn't the best. Time for an auction. Go ahead. Bid away. Okay. You're going for farming and faith. I see why the counts want the farming. Also up in your trade chiefs. Okay. Nice. That is the aqueduct and the Grand Bazaar. So the farming for the counts go up, which is what you want, and then the trade for the chiefs go up? I guess, sure. It's time to find another. Yeah, more trade. In the twisty passages of your castle, you cannot avoid your mother. Any that urgent? Any? Don't care. Noble has been kidnapped. Your Majesty, the loyal and noble chief Max Breyer has been taken hostage. Kidnapped? What do you mean? some criminal organization. These horrid miscreants demand gold and safe passage to Ashmead in exchange for your return. God. Either pay the ransom, send the North troops, or ignore the letter. You know, I'm gonna veto paying the ransom. I don't want to do that. You're welcome. That was it. We'll send the North troops after the kidnapper. No, it's your problem, Chiefs. You sort it out by yourself. I mean, you succeeded. Yeah. Yeah, it was part of a hard fight, and the North's forces suffer heavy losses in the assault. They only went down by 1 though, still pretty good, but in the end, you are retrieved. Safe as could be hoped for. During the raid, Northern fighters have a hoard of gold and gems, some of which goes to the treasury and some to the chiefs. And I don't kill people for no reason. It just turns out that afterwards there wasn't actually a reason, but I thought there was when I did kill him. I see, Chiefs, that was good. You all gained some money from that. Your Majesty, I wish to speak with you about this situation in the north. Too long have the Northerners been allowed to worship their heathen tree gods, in brazen defiance of the ninth god. Allow me to send some of our best missionaries to the north. It's for the good of the realm. To bring it to the council. Of course, Your Majesty, I would expect nothing less. So either do we send missionaries to the north, or do we deny the request for a mission? Yeah, it wasn't for no reason, it was just for the wrong reason. Exactly. Oh, I know. We're gonna go tell the Northerners to stop praying to the tree gods. Ooh, this is erasure of our culture. We won't forget this, you rabid pack of tyrants. The mission goes ahead, despite protests from the chiefs. Unfortunately, it's a disaster. The missionaries' sanctimonious preaching does not go down well in a region still mired in many real problems. Priests are run out of towns, beaten, or even murdered for their efforts. Uh-oh. It was up to the councils. Well, I guess that is the result of that. If anything, the mission sees many northern common folk and chiefs alike now cursing the church's name. Well, that's a good place to end that season. Up in the north, Chief Mama Bear is hosting a grand feast at his clan hall. The gods are not spying upon us, friend. We failed to win the Spy Master's trust, and she still watches us with an eagle eye. How goes the search of the lookalike? Not well, I'm still looking. Do not discourage you, keep searching. The chief's aim is to be the region with the lowest defiance. No, you're all about the same. Just do a nice common tax on everyone. There we go. Yes, I know. I don't even get to beat them. Is Ulf, firstborn of the Sun Northern Green Wizard clan. He's been a melancholy sort ever since he was a child, but otherwise he's a distant enough company. Made himself quite really. You can see the appeal, I suppose. This is Illaron, the eldest heir of the Eastern Lower dynasty. I met them at a party once, but all they did was squeak out a Hella and run off. Seemed nice enough. They had a laboratory installed. That's what all the fuss is about. And from the south, Casilda, the eldest daughter of the Shy Sloth lineage. She's preoccupied with honor and has been in a few too many duels in her time. Like many in the south, she claims to put her faith in the Ninth God above all worldly concerns. Actually, she's a little intense. She calls herself an avatar of the Ninth Justice. Not bad at all. Okay. I think I've made my decision. Yeah. Oh, I really need... Gonna have to be Illaron of the East. Uh-oh. Yeah. Your Highness, there's been a total fire in the city of Dobituch. Where once there were buildings, there is now a field of smouldering ash, and the peasants have died. Power kicked over a lantern, your grace. Some milkmaid was burning the midnight oil and must have had unexpectedly cold hands. Poor cow. And the council might unlock some funds from the treasury so we could rebuild. Yeah, you can, but just don't rebuild it in stone this time. Cheers. I don't like that option. Rebuild this exactly as it is. I will find and punish the milkmaid responsible. Seems like a good idea. A person named Heather is deemed responsible for the fire, using a squad of soldiers to arrest her and bring her in for a speedy trial. By the 9th, it's not my fault, the cow is to blame. Regardless, witness testimony proves Heather's guilt, and both she and the cow, whose name was also Heather, are executed the following day. Rip Heather and Heather. Farmers throughout the east report uncharacteristically sour milk from the cows for weeks after. Well, not my problem. Your Majesty, a countess by the name of Tammy wants to present you with a new invention. Your Grace, we are entering a modern age, a more humane age. Yet botched executions are commonplace, decapitations where the head doesn't come off or hangings where it does. No more. Behold, a merciful machine for removing heads quickly and painlessly. I call it the Tammylicious. She swishes away a cloth to reveal a huge machine of iron and wood. It has a hole for someone to place the head and a heavy blade dangling ominously above it. The sight sends a chill down your spine. How efficient. Precisely. With the Tammylicious, you'll send 12 heads a-rolling in the time it take an ordinary executioner to chop through a single neck. With a little funding, Your Majesty, I can distribute this across the kingdom. I'll bring this to the council. You won't regret this. You can either fund a nationwide rollout, test it on Countess Tammylicious herself, or ban this horrid contraption. I personally think we should test it on Tammy, but that's just me. Ooh. Not looking good, Tammy. Yeah. Well, that's like what? The third person dead this game? Ooh, you are quite defiant now, though. This way to help people. You are dragged to Countess Timolicious is dragged to the Timolicious by a watch captain, and her head is forced into the hole. No, please. Wow, that is helpful. With the value of the Timolicious now proven, you take money from Countess Timolicious' estate to fund the rollout across the kingdom. Soon you are chopping through the backlog of condemned prisoners with unprecedented speed and unprecedented mercy. Yay! And I get a new law. You know what, let's do a bit of reverse voting. Yeah. No. No. I'm being fair. Let's start off with the wedding. Actually, I'm going to talk about the kingdom. I do. And pronounce your king and spouse. The wedding, of course, is a feast, and after the feast, a dance your new spouse to bright red. Yeah. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. By the time you find yourself alone with the other one, it's better. A lot more tired. You too. Oh no. I can see you need some space. There's a spare bed change living in the room, they'll open up to you eventually. Right. Great. Your greatness as scholars are and great thinkers of the South have invented a new farming implement. Some kind of horse-drawn machine that automatically reaps and threshes grain. They call it a wheat eater, and it's revolutionizing agriculture. It would be of great use to us in the north. Our farms are struggling to keep up with demand, you know. We'll not share the design for the likes of you, Northern Leech. Our people worked hard on this machine, we deserve to reap its rewards, not you. We can force the grandees to distribute the designs, compensate the grandees for the invention and share it with the other regions, leave the machines in the south only, or halt the production of these machines. They are an affront to honest farmers everywhere. Oh, they're all pretty bad. But go ahead. We will compensate the grandees for the invention and share it with the other regions. How lovely! Some grandees' wealth has increased and the treasury has gone down by like 800. Fair price, I suppose. Rewarded for the ingenuity, the grandees are satisfied, as is everyone else who produce brand new wheat eaters for their farm with lightning speed. Pretty nice. The Night of Seven Pyres. It's not long until the Night of Seven Pyres. As you journey south, the sun beats down like a hammer. Grandee Anthony meets you at the gates of the city of Kavana. Glad you could make it, Your Majesty. Welcome to Kavana. Beautiful place. The whole city is excited to have you here, Your Majesty. The citizens cannot wait to see your pyre burn. You'll provide the surrounding entertainment and arrange the event's spectacular climax. But first, which of the deposed gods' effigies do you want to be responsible for burning? The seventh god. An excellent decision, Your Majesty. Traditionally, the seventh god's effigy is over 50 feet high and burned in the central square, usually attracting the biggest crowd. Now, what kind of entertainers will you be hiring to surround your pyre and impress spectators? Let's see. Go with lion tamers. Spot a danger should keep the peasants interested. You'll need more than that to draw a crowd, however. Who else? Fire breathers. I do not know how they will do that without burning lit, Your Holiness, but must be a technique to it. Anyone else? That's all. Your work is not yet done, Your Majesty. You must decide on the pie spectacular climax. Sometimes we go with fireworks. Well, it's expensive. The black powder must be sourced all the way from Kurth. As exciting alternatives is the top of the effigy over like a falling tree. Yeah, a normal amount of fireworks should be enough. Whenever you Majesty, your pyre will accumulate in a fireworks display, bringing the night sky alive. I will make the arrangements at once. See what you do. Soon the night of the Seven Pyres is upon you. The streets of Gavarna are crammed with merrymakers as the royal stagecoach makes its way to the town square. The citizens greet you with cheers and tossed roses. The effigy of the seventh god towers over the rooftops, a 50-foot demon with fearsome horns. As it bursts into flames, out come your fire breathers and lion tamers. The lions pose and prance and leap through hoops. Fire breathers roar, gouts with flame. The crowd applauds, delighted at the sheer spectacle. Finally, your effigy explodes and fills the night sky with fizzling colours. The crowd coos. The surrounding buildings look distantly flammable. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. A misfired firework lands directly on a nearby kindling shop. In a matter of a minute, dozens of shops and houses around the square are up in flames. The inferno rages, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, and the crowd flees in panic. Within an hour, half the city is burning. By the time the sun rises, a team of brave volunteers are still fighting the fire. You slink off back to the capital, shamefaced as the grandees literally call you to apologize for ruining the holy night. Whoopsies. Too bad, so sad. Yeah, you said you had a surprise for me. Aye, and here it is, behold. Your greatness, what are you doing here at such an hour? I'm sorry, I hope you don't overhear any. You scared cut. This isn't the king, it's a peasant who's the king's spitting image. God's beginning just in time, the spy masters trust us, and we can move to the next phase. Kidnapping the king. How do we manage that? We need the kingdom in utter chaos. The next stage of the scheme achieves must lower its ability to 4 or less. Ugh. Raphael's Knight's Herald is finally manifested on Celeste Aft, taking the form of a humble noble known as Alfonso, who hails from a farming town in the southern hills. Oh, so the grandees claim. I have peasants all over the south are flocking to you, Alfonso. I knew you could do it. The plentiful crops have been a significant boon to our economy. Now that's what I call a miracle. Praise be, but this is just the beginning. With him on our side, we will capture the minds of the common folk and lead a holy crusade against the false king. People still need a push, however. With just the right amount of chaos, the peasants will take up arms and die for you. The next stage of the queen, the grandees must have stability to follow this in 2 seasons. Late at night, 2 counts meet in ancient stone cemetery to discuss the schemes against the king. The Cabal are impressive, yes, and I've had peasants in the north moving onto our lands desperate to squander our prosperity. How exquisite, but once another team would be difficult, it's magic beyond our usual fare. Tide of blood must swallow this kingdom in its wake. Also, its ability to follow this in 2 seasons. Okay, so you now all share the same scheme. It's not good for me. Clairvoyant Visit. Your Majesty, Your Highness, Chief Green Wizard has been having prophetic dreams. It is true. I can part the veil betwixt now and some ways off. Give me a prophecy then. I look to the future and it speaks through me, no more, no less. For instance, Matsbury should be aware of birds for the next season. I saw a vision of Count Loewain II's body floating away on dark water. What? Blood and stars. Please, Your Highness, have him foretell the future of the council to gain insight into the great mysteries. Alright, just as once, begin the visions. Throw this charlatan into the dungeon, or make Chief Green Wizard an official council advisor. I don't want you to throw him into the dungeon, but you can do anything else. You might be dead again, yeah. Alright, just this once begin the visions. And it failed. There's a dark velvet cloth under the floor, sits cross-legged and closes his eyes. He gasps, "Bad news, your greatness, let me gather myself so I may understand what lies ahead. Sorry I foresee whispers of dissent, confusion, and tumult. Beware, beware." I'm so sorry, your highness, I'm sure this is all a trick, come on, get out of here. Pulls him away, their raised voices fade down the hallway. True enough, the Chancellor soon reports a new trade agreement with Ashmi that puts in the king at a great disadvantage. Must have known what he was talking about. Uh-oh. I'm Brother, I've come to ask a favour. I was a very rare reagent for one of my alchemical studies. The pickled finger of an ice giant. Lamentably, it's been delayed. I was buying it from Chief Mama Bear. If you ask him about it if you have time, of course? Sure. How exquisite, let me know how you fare. Summon Chief Mama Bear to the council chambers, the next day you talk in private. Gods greet your greatness, what can I do for you? I need to buy the pickled finger of an ice giant. Oh, you've come on behalf of your spouse, haven't you? Unfortunately, I can't give you the giant's finger just yet. Giants' remains are scarce in the north. I had to take this one's finger in secrecy. Your spouse paid quite a lot for the privilege. Problem is, some of the other chiefs have suspicions about what I did. They're threatening to have me punished. If you still want this accursed finger, you have to promise to keep me safe. Yeah. I'm better for me to just deny any involvement at this point. If you don't before week's end, they are most pleased with it. Don't hear anything from Chief Mama Bear after your meeting, but you're certain nothing good has happened to him. A bit late for that. I mean, he might not be dead. Just got no money left. Yeah, you didn't die, you're fine. Yeah, you're poor but not dead. Majesty, I bring brave news. A missionary went up to north to bring the true faith to those pagans, but last week he was found dead on the outskirts of a remote village. May he rest in peace. Caught on nasty cold, did he? No, Your Majesty, sacrificing the devilish ritual. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mama Bear. Appreciate it. No, Your Majesty, sacrificing the devilish ritual to one of their awful pagan gods. Ooh. Yeah, good luck with that. With antlers embedded in his head. We must send in an inquisitor to the village and root out the killers. Either let the matter lie, send a lone inquisitor to investigate the missionary's death, send an entire team of inquisitors and a squad of soldiers, or order the chiefs to bring the murderers to justice. And you know what? Just to be more confusing, you now have to vote for your least favourite option. Go ahead. Okay. Is that everyone? Yeah. We will send an entire team of inquisitors and a squad of soldiers. Thank you, Majesty. You won't regret putting your trust in me. This is an outrage, Your Majesty. We won't tolerate the presence of crownless soldiers on northern soil. And the soldiers and inquisitors descend on the village of the calendar like locusts. Within weeks, dozens of supposed pagans have been burned in the village square. The old gods do nothing to save them. But their compatriots do. A squad of northern warriors desert their post and march to the village to fight the inquisitors. Hundreds on both sides are killed in the ensuing battle. This isn't going well. The rogue warriors suddenly defeat your troops, driving them out of the north. After that, the church's power wanes further, and more northerners convert to the worship of the old gods. Okay, and time for an auction. When I do that, I will be right back. Okay, so you went for the prison and theatre. Wow. Yeah. Great. Much appreciated for that. Thank you so much. Actually, I assume you are familiar with the Grandee's last puppet, the so-called Knight's Herald? Alfonso, he's a fraud. Quite so, yet the Grandees are pushing Alfonso as the claimant to your throne, to be put there by force if necessary. It's just a little. How unstable the kingdom is, it's high time they made a move. You'll need to shore things up and fast. Offer tax breaks to the common folk to increase the king's popularity. Have an inquisitor denounce Alfonso's heretical claims, or allow the Knight's Herald to continue as he pleases. I definitely want that to happen. Go ahead. I mean, sure. Damn. Oh, tied again. I'm gonna go for that. I will offer you tax breaks. To my stability. Your financial changes prove popular among the common folk who throw their newly freed cash into recreational pursuits. You can only hope it's enough to stave off the grant. Your marriage to Ileron has grown strong and steady, like an old castle wall. Though it began as political agreement, it's blossomed into something like love. It's high time you thought about an heir. Yeah, I am very happy. Yeah, shut up about that. I mean, you need someone young, as long as he's assured. So my spouse and I will have a child together. Now the traditional method. Thank you. Blasphemy. Your Highness, an urgent matter. My agents suspect there's a reason behind the recent unrest. The Counts are stirring up chaos to power some kind of dark ritual. I always knew they were ungodly. Ungodly Counts. This proves what we've suspected for years. We must fight back. Either order kingdom-wide curfews, send inquisitors uncover proof, or leave the Counts for their petty business. And we will do reverse voting. head. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Delay the scheme for a season. Get. Several high-profile accounts are captured and interrogated at length. It's hard for them to perform their rituals and make operations while they're trying to dodge the agent. The Count's efforts have been hampered. The stat goal will not be evaluated until the end of the season. Also, the South swells with devotees from across the kingdom. They've come to see Alfonso, the Knights Herald, in action. Some even take to the fields in service of the would-be king, filling the southern storehouses. In the picturesque town of Verona, the Grandees' only claimant delivers a speech to raucous applause. Two figures stand in an alcove nearby. If our army was strong enough, we could take the palace by force. A crusade, that sounds promising, though I suggest we leave it up to the Ninth God. Surely he will intervene on Alfonso's behalf. What do you want to do, Grandees? Raise your own military or raise your own faith? Completely up to you. Using faith for option. Let us join in prayer, fellow Grandees. The end of King Pop's illegitimate godless rule is upon us. Our claimant Alfonso is poised to take the throne and usher in a new golden age. We need only wait for a miracle. For the final stage of the scheme, the Grandees must raise their faith to at least 10. Ooh. Okay. So if we... It's tough. Not fine, everyone still just gets common tax. So the chieftains cannot start the rebellion, but the counts can. That's not good. If you want to risk it, that is. See. Your Holiness, I bring bad news from the south. We are receiving reports of good news can wait. I bring urgent tidings from the east that demand the king's attention up. Wait your turn, you ignorant dolt. When you say your call outside, meanwhile I have news from the north that is really urgent. Just one at a time, please. The east and the south are being consumed with riots on a weekly basis. Citizens want to overthrow the king and elect a more competent ruler. Is that all? By the blood of the dead, the eastern courts are corrupt, your highness. Judges are letting off the vilest criminals in return for the slightest bit of coin. Our news is worse still, the north is increasingly lawless, your majesty. Some chiefs have taken advantage, declaring themselves independent of your rule. All these problems have arisen because this kingdom is increasingly unstable, your majesty. Something must be done. Don't make sure these issues are dealt with. To either restore the order in the cities of the south, reform the eastern courts, or send troops to bring the independent chiefs back into the kingdom. Sure. Mhm. I think the Celts want to help out. Both the interesting that the chiefs and the counts want to help out the south. Okay. You send your troops to enforce order on the streets of the southern cities. Curfews are declared, rioters are arrested. Even the priests of the Knights Church preach for a return to law and order. This does the most good, though the sitting sinners begin to distrust their clergy as a result. Defiance is now furious, Defiance is now enraged, ability is now teetering. That's not good. After a particularly long session at council, Illirin comes to find you in your chambers. I hate to see them talk to all these people the way you do, you're so brave. When they argue like that, my heart just sinks. We should pull together more. Exactly what you mean. Thinking, what if we did something to make things better? Been reading scholars' papers about these herbs you can find. In the Crownlands, you can use them to treat wounds, but no one's done it on a wide scale before. If I had the equipment and reagents, we could do all kinds of research to help people. Not now, I think at the end of the season, yeah, they can. Yeah, we'll need to be careful with the budget. They kiss your cheek before hurrying out to enact their plans. Probably shouldn't have upped the Yeast military, but whatever. I don't mean to exaggerate, Your Highness, but I believe I have pioneered the most incredible invention in the history of mankind. I wish hosting a small party, playing cards with some old friends. I called for someone to bring me something to eat that was both tasty and convenient, as my hands were occupied. What my summer brought me that evening will change the world forever, Your Highness. Show me. Behold. He holds in the air a plate. Atop the plate are 2 slices of bread with a piece of meat wedged between them. It allows the hungry noble to consume 2 slices of bread plus meat all at once, saving valuable time. Meanwhile, the bread serves as an impregnable barrier, preventing one's hands from being besmirched by meaty juices. Wow, breathtaking. Absolutely. Naturally, since this is my invention, I propose we name it after me. Year's time, I expect everyone to be enjoying a lower winch for lunch. But naturally, this invention cannot be made available for free. Every time a lower winch is consumed, I expect a small royalty payment. Yeah. I just don't want Defiance going up, but anything else goes. So good. Nice. It's fine, as long as that money's not coming out of my pocket, you can have it. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, we don't. Yeah. You're just not furious, that's... Thank you, Mercy, it's the least I deserve now to work on my next invention, edible playing cards. From that point forward, everyone is forced to pay a small fee to lower winch whenever they eat anything between 2 slices of bread. Damn, you're rich now. And some chief's wealth has increased and some grandee's wealth has increased. Consequently, despite the deliciousness and convenience of eating lemon winches, it never really catches on. Bakeries go bust across the east. Okay. After the end of the season, our accounts face each other in silence, their co-workers exchange, they scheme. Whereas, all favorite from them singing, Tyra to summon a demon. Which guest would you invite? I know. Too bad. Yeah. Kinda got both low trade and faith. It's or you could just go with A. Then need to rebel. Fine. Sure. We'll bring pestilence and salvation to the land. She is perfect for our plans. When she arrives, the crown will be ours for the taking. The summoning ritual requires rare reagents from across Celestia. The petals of Sarkish Orchid, the eye of Anetashi Salamander. Indeed, it will stockpile resources before initiating the rite. There's no time to waste. For the final stage of the scheme, Council must raise a trade for at least 5. Not impossible. Yeah, we will adopt. How nobles choose to vote is hidden from the monarch's view. That doesn't work in this book. Oh, is it? So both, the chiefs and council are on the verge of rebellion. It's completely fine. Letter arrives. I mean, I think if you do both rebel, it becomes a random chance who actually wins. So it's up to you if you want a truce or not. But you don't both get to win, though. Your spouse is one who's busy reading the letters when they gasp. I thought I was doing the best for everyone, but I've got an enemy amongst the chiefs. These Countess Tamilish too thinks I'm doing a good job. But Chief Max Brace says the hubs are dangerous, that researching them will lead them to ruin. Yeah. This is neat. You for the follow that white pup. Appreciate it. Yeah. The royal consort earlier invited me to be a voice of reason. A voice of reason by the old gods? You have no idea what these herbs do. These potions are nothing but a dangerous waste of time and money. Illaron bites their lip and looks down, avoiding anyone's eye. Fine, we'll stop. Or perhaps I should keep my head down if it's causing trouble. They leave the room without another word. When word gets out, a group of chiefs sends you a coronet encrusted with emeralds and diamonds. It looks very charming on display in the treasury. Bizarre report. Your Majesty, I have received worrying reports, worrying and confusing. I'm constantly worried and confused. Yes, Your Majesty, I did get that impression. I received reports from one of my little birdies in Chief Mama Bear Stream's clan hall. He has a most unusual guest. Is this some kind of parasite thing? No. It's you, Your Majesty, or someone who looks just like you. Dear Shy Sloth, I have no reason to suspect the chiefs of plotting anything, and yet I can't square this way. Unfortunately, I can't devote too many resources to solving this puzzle with the kingdom in such a lamentable state, too busy fighting fires elsewhere. I recommend you call a meeting of the council and try to do something to put a stop to this. Very well, assemble them at once. Yeah, triple the security. I want to do everything, but we have to do something. Vote. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Is that all the votes? Okay. Triple the security. Do. What? The ranks of your palace watch are swollen with the new recruits and a strict curfew set up within a 2-mile radius of the palace. It should help keep you safe, but the nobles think it's a display of weakness. There are rumors that you're slipping into paranoia. There's just a spot of heresy. Your greatness, I'm stunned, outraged, and incensed. I've been summoned to trial by the Inquisition on some nonsense fabricated charge. The same group of church missionaries went missing near my lands. The weather's cold around there, anything could have happened to them. No one dares defend me on their own, they're too scared of the High Inquisitor. The trial is set, but the council must intervene, your greatness. Though she remains silent, the council is keenly aware of the High Inquisitor's steely gaze from across the chamber. You know what, yeah, anonymous voting. Go ahead. Search for the witness, help the Inquisition gather evidence, or suggest they pray for a good outcome. This isn't too good with. Yeah. Okay, of course you wanna. Yeah. We distribute a proclamation among the chiefs asking for witnesses, not to praise innocence. Another villager eventually comes forward, saying she saw the missionaries heading in the direction of the frozen lake. Indeed, they're soon found wandering aimlessly through the featureless tundra, completely lost and snowblind, but alive. With no dead missionaries, the High Inquisitor is forced to drop the charges and pay compensation. He sends you a small gift and thanks. Aww. Appreciate it. We'll end the season. Up in the north, Chief Moabed strings together his fellow plotters for a hike through the mountains. It's not exactly peaceful, but it's still no way we could stage the production of the king without being noticed. We need chaos. These aim to lower ability to 4 or less. Then your heir. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Could I ask? Council hall is full of nervous silence. Suddenly, the assembled nobles break into a polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of the kingdom. Yes, think of his name. Yeah. He is Pup Dad II. The gods are good, your greatness. I'm sure little Pup Dad II will grow up to be a chip off the old block. Yeah, they can't now. I'm too stable. Oh, Pup Dad, I never thought I'd say this, but I'd really like to get out and be able to see people. I don't want to be a figurehead. That's not what I was in the East, and it's not what I'll be now. Basically some animals and adopt them as... yeah. It's good thinking. I'll have another place. From that point on, Elrond occupies the time by breaking up dogfighting groups and bear baiting competitions, taking the animals back to the palace to nurse them back to health. The bears are a little hard to handle, but the occasional light-hearted threat to feed a feisty noble to the animals doesn't hurt your reputation. Elrond becomes known as the Wilderness Whisperer, and they are happy to dedicate their time to something worthwhile. Comet sighting. The blood-red comet was spotted in the night sky over the south, Your Majesty. The Nays are claiming it is a terrible omen. Common folk are on the verge of panic. Is there anything I can do? Tell the church to dispel such baseless superstitions. The priests of the south preach that the comet is actually a good omen due to a new interpretation of an obscure cluster of stars. Unfortunately, the peasants don't believe a word of it. For a few weeks, the south is gripped by panic. Riots break out in the streets. Soothsayers wander the land, foretelling doom. Well, go ahead, auction away. Spending the last bit of your money. I see, you're trying to lower my stability. That's not very nice. Right. Yeah. Perfect chiefs and the counts can rebel again if they want to. My ambition. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be the father of the nation. You're well on your way to reaching that goal. The peasants are thriving and well fed. They think of you fondly. Well done, Your Majesty. But to shut down your nobles' schemes for good, we'll need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. The common folk are a sleeping giant that even the nobles are afraid to wake. If you become beloved by the peasants, the nobles won't dare overthrow you for fear of revolution. Or you could declare war on the Ashmedan Empire. The nobles will forget their schemes if you win. Go with stability and farming. Why, it is Your Majesty. I'll be recruiting town criers to shout about your achievements to the masses. But first you need some actual achievements. Your priority is to raise the king's stability and overall farming as much as you can. Of course, there can't be open rebellion among the nobles. Okay. Your Greatness, I simply can't stand it any longer. I need you to do something. Better be good. I have filthy peasants scrabbling all over my newly built Grand Bazaar, knocking over stalls, bothering my paying customers. They've heard legends of buried treasure beneath the site. Total nonsense, of course. I need you to keep these greedy treasure grubbers off my land. Actually, these rumours might not be nonsense. After conquering the north, King Harold the Grey is said to have buried a huge stash of stolen loot, spoils of war, in the area. What are you suggesting? We could search for the treasure ourselves, send a team of diggers to take the place apart brick by brick. and dig deep into the foundations. By the old gods, what are you saying? That would destroy the whole place. Ooh. Yeah. Go ahead. Either we can place sentries around the Grand Bazaar to keep treasure hunters at bay, or dig up a fake treasure hoard to pretend that gold has been found. Really just unanimously just... Oh yeah, it's not. You bury a fake hoard at 10 coins. If you went for a great distance, then you dig up. Okay, skilly scheme hasn't worked. Nobody believes that you've actually found King Aryl's hoard, and I've still got treasure hunters on my mind. An opportunity, Your Highness. A cursed ship sunk last week just off our coast. I request permission to salvage the wreckage. Cursed vessels are always full of valuable things. Wait. I might be off your coast, but it's in our waters. But all that is holy, in fact. It's closer to our city of Sarenza than any of yours. But you keyed those waters years ago in exchange for a chest of silver. You were having money problems. Your Holiness' esteemed council, don't let this liar fool you. Allow the Grandees to salvage the ship, allow the... Do we allow them to salvage the ship, or do we allow them to salvage the ship? Do we salvage the ship but return any bounty to Kurth, or leave the wreck alone? Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's meant to be that. Yeah. Well, so many different options. Thing. Our ship return any bounty to Kurth. Not good. Although both the Grandees and the Grandees protest your decision, the salvage goes ahead. You retrieve handcrafted furniture, a strange music box, and a few barrels of pickled bearing. Okay, doesn't seem like much, but the Kurth diplomat accepts it gratefully, providing a significant amount of gold in return. Sure. A tax. We... Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah. Sure. Okay, so now only the chiefs and grandees can. That's fine. Eventually the conflict squid is easily down the line. Gale, I'm confident that we can make them adore you. It'll be the biggest public relations campaign the kingdom has ever seen. You'll tell the kingdom giving speeches. Town criers will declaim your great deeds from every corner. Can we do things that actually help people? The nobles would never accept it. You need to secure your hold and power, then you can pass whatever reforms you like. We're helped by the fact that the kingdom is harmonious. It's important that we keep it that way, and we must also keep something else in mind. A hungry peasant is never happy with their king. Luckily, the land is bountiful right now. Peasants remain comfortable and well fed. You'll win the Devaslan for sure. Yeah. That's not good. Honourable challenge. Your Highness, this braggish old muckspout has besmirched my honour. He spread rumours that I was not truly a follower of the ninth god, but some kind of apostate. You're definitely not a heretic? Absolutely not, Your Holiness. I am the most devout amongst my people. Ask any of them. Absolutely not, Your Holiness. Which braggish old muckspot are you talking about? The honourless dog, Lorenet II of the corpse. I will not duel him to regain my honour, as any grandee should, but he will not accept without your express permission. Now hold on a minute, this is a matter of respect. We can't be dueling in King Podda's throne room without due process. You're a coward and you may as well admit it now. Well, your piety is show it's all in act to get the peasants to like you more. Let's see. You may duel, it would be fun to watch. Ashloth II vindictively drawing a sword. Sighs and rolls his eyes before unclipping a pair of small jagged daggers and whirling them in his fingers. The duelists circle around each other. Randy Ashloth II steps in for the first move, jumps backwards, batting the sword away. A second strike comes straight after, and this time it's a feint. As he moves to defend, Ashloth twists and redirects her attack. The sword cuts cleanly through his clothing, who howls in pain. With that, Ashloth steps back and bows deeply. First blood, I win. How was it? How boring. You sanctioned the duel as respecting their customs and accurate. Okay. Give me one sec. Okay. The East are low on lumber, that's not good. Stop trying to rebel against me. Your Highness, will you tell these superstitious counts to get over themselves and let us harvest their trees? We need the wood for our craftspeople. I've told you 1,000 times, Chief. The forest is thoroughly haunted, you'll damn us all if you go logging there. But you sold us logging contract and said contract has no exclusions for hunting. Oh. Well. Your Highness, the counts can't be allowed to wiggle out of their commitments. You know what, you vote on yourselves.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Guess I'll share with you what I'm doing.
Oh.
It's a pretty fun game that I've discovered.
Oh yeah.
Yes. People have decided that the Chiefs have a contract and may go logging. Interesting. With the council's express permission, hundreds of northern lumberjacks rush into the haunted forest and start hacking it down, but they're woefully unprepared for what they find. That is not good for me. The moment of the workers cut into the ancient trees, they come alive, picking up labourers and devouring them whole. My stability is now teetering. That is not good at all. I warned you. Now there's an army of angry trees on our doorstep. The greed of the chiefs knows no bounds. This might be the end. The king's on the brink of chaos, it's perfect, we have to strike. What do you intend to do? Swoop in and kidnap the king in full view of the palace watch? No, of course not. We need to use the chaos to our advantage. We have two options. So the chiefs can either lure the king to the north and abduct him there, or manufacture a food crisis and kidnap the king during the relief efforts.
Manufacture a food crisis. Food crisis.
That is up to the chiefs what they want to do. Okay. I mean, your defiance is quite high.
No idea.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. We need to convince the king that the North is on the verge of rebellion. In the current climate, he'll be forced to make a diplomatic visit to smooth things over. That's when we strike. One king enters the peace tent, and another king leaves. The final stage of the scheme, the chiefs must raise their defiance to at least 8, but without starting a rebellion. Ooh. Okay. Adopt back to another voting. Not like it'll really matter. So that's 2 regions currently rebelling and 1 on the verge of rebellion. Yeah, you shouldn't have really rebelled because now it goes against you. Okay. Yeah. Rebellion. At long last, the Grandees have reached their boiling point. You are confronted in the throne room by Grandee Ashai Sloth, her eyes alight with righteous fury. The ninth god has judged you unworthy, pretender to the throne, and the Grandees of the south have listened. We will rise up and fight for Alfonso, the true king. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other will be on the battlefield. I can either seize her, or one day I will see your head on a spike. Sure. Come along now, traitors, get the chop. What? You can't do this. I am an envoy, see? See how the king's tyranny grows worse by the day? Your watchman wastes no time. Grandee Ashai Sloth II is dragged out into the courtyard and her head is struck from her shoulders. I didn't expect them to move so bodily, your majesty. Grandee Ashai Sloth II has died. Ashai Sloth III has joined the council. Yeah, what are our chances against the rebels? Well, we're badly outnumbered, your hopes are slim. How do things get this bad? The leader of the rebellion is Grandee Anthony. As reason for the uprising, he's citing your history as petty transgressions against the Grandees. Is it too late to apologise? It is. Now's the time for swords, not words. So, this is it, civil war? That's right, your majesty, the kingdom is divided. There will be a lot of death and suffering before all this is over. I can't wait. I'll go dig out the trebuchets. The trees are attacking. Your highness, ever since those bird-brained chiefs tried to cut down an ancient grove, the trees have been rampaging across the east. The grove is older than the kingdom itself. It's no wonder it held such power. Please, your grace, assemble the council. We have to appease the trees. So you can vote to set fire to the east, search for a wizard to destroy the trees, bring in northern soldiers to help fight, or the counts can deal with this alone. I don't want people to set fire to the east, so I'm going to veto that vote. I think the rebels can vote, yeah? I don't know. I don't recall. I don't know. Are you just gonna take money out my treasury?
Yep, that's what we're gonna do. They want your money.
Ah, the rebels can't vote, okay. So that literally just leaves one of the regents, because the other 2 rebelled. Great. I mean, I've got plenty of money in the treasury, that's fine. Just half of it, but You send out the call for a wizard. You're expecting a kind of plant sorcerer to answer, but one who eventually arrives couldn't be more of a surprise. Before they appear, you hear a faint jingling bells approaching the council chamber. Windows start to crack. Finally, your wine glass shatters as the door opens. Apologies for your windows, your majesty. It's just one of those things. Can't help it. By the 9th, my spectacles. Given that Brusque doesn't appear to have a jaw or a tongue, you're not sure how they're talking? It's not in your head. You can actually hear them, as can everyone else. You don't look like you know anything about trees? Not trees specifically. I am Brusque, the Lord of Bells. I am the Wizard of Sound and Silence. I will help solve your tree problem. Get on with it then. Patience, meet me at the edge of their lands. I will allow you to speak to them by giving them a voice. Brusque ambles slowly out of the council chamber. It will take some time to travel to the east, but it seems to be the only solution. The trees continue their rampage in the meantime, even abducting hapless civilians from their destroyed villages. Okay. Sure. My dear chiefs of the North, thank you for joining us in our righteous war against the tyrant King Pupdad. Aye, it's no trouble. Point us in the right direction and we'll start chopping off heads. All in good time, my friend. First, you must decide where to direct your opening strike. We can launch a preemptive strike against the Counts to cripple their military capabilities. If we suspect the Counts may join our cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more than likely to join us if the King's authority is low. Or finally, you could send off an assassin to nip this in the bud. Dishonourable, of course, but convenient. So what do the chiefs want to do? Launch a preemptive strike on the Counts, call upon the Counts to join the cause, or send an assassin after the king? Oh. I'm back just in time. Actually going to call upon the Counts, so everyone's going to be against me. Lovely. Lovely. The chiefs smuggle a secret message to the Counts. And they succeeded in doing so. Dignified Counts, too long have you suffered under the king's oppression. You Easterners are a proud people. Why are you putting up with this tyrant? Join us. They speak truly. Why did we never think of things this way? The Counts are emboldened by the call to rebellion. Of course, they can only act on if the defiance is high enough. This is not great.
It does not sound great.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 currently rebelling, and the Counts are on the verge of rebelling. A great battle. No. Vast armies darken the landscape like the shadows of clouds. Flags are flying, drums are pounding in rhythm with the marching of boots. The kingdom is gripped with civil war. At least that's what you imagine. Most of your time is spent in the safety of your palace, poring over a giant map with your marshal. Your Majesty, the army of the south is trying to link up with the army of the north. If we take them both on at once, we're in real trouble. Only our hope is the Counts. Against both armies at once would be outnumbered. Perhaps they can take one of the rebel armies by surprise before the 2 join forces. We have no choice but to strike one or the other before it's too late. What are your orders? Ooh. Who would the Counts most like to go after?
I think...
Who do you hate the most, Counts? The South or the Northerners?
I hate you.
No. Speed. I am. Go after the Southerners. Nothing they do as they're told. God knows, treachery can thrive on the battlefield. Yeah. Go ahead. Choose. Do you defy my orders? Do you follow my orders, or do you hang back and that the rebels march on the capital without challenge.
Flying orders sounds like a fun idea.
You're not the one voting, though. Oh, they're going to
Well, I
follow
should
my
be.
orders. Okay. I appreciate that. They're going to follow yours and send the Eastern Army to fight the Grandees. The whole city holds its breath. You stew in the palace waiting for your marshal's return. Unleash Mr. Remnant drenched in the blood and sweat of battle. You look awful. At dawn we drew up in battle formations. It's all very orderly at first, Your Majesty, but after the trumpets blow and the cavalry charge, it's nothing but blood and screams. Anyway, after the red mist lifted, I appraised the situation. The southern line was breaking. They were fleeing the field. It was a total rout, Your Majesty. With your loyalty scarcely taking a scratch, the ninth is with us. Yes. Thank the ninth. Instead of the ninth, you should thank the counts. Maybe send them some flowers. The southern army is scattered all over the countryside. It will be months before they can regroup. But now our armies are tired, and the chiefs are still out there, raring for a fight. We can only hope our luck holds out. It'll all come down to the next battle, Your Majesty. The fate of the kingdom hangs in the balance. Okay. I'll lead the troops personally this time. Sick of waiting around.
We can't pull the Wi-Fi. We can't find the plastic thing.
Okay. Talking to the trees. It's taken weeks to travel with the council to the east for your meeting with the trees. Vurtsk has assured you that they will be able to act as an intermediary. As you approach the ancient grove, you can't help but notice the fresh stumps the northern loggers left behind. Yeah, it's all good now. And a field of saplings already growing in the place. Oh, try not to. Okay. Are you ready, Your Majesty? The grove awaits. You don't see any killer trees, but perhaps they're playing dead. Did that one swing its branch, or was it just a wing? We are ready. Vurtsk places their hand on a nearby trunk. Nothing seems to happen for a moment until... The trees are very upset with you, Your Majesty. I gathered that. Although I'm getting something else, it's hard to concentrate on two things at once. Ah, I see. Since I could cast your eyes upon the saplings before you, Your Majesty, the trees wish to replace their lost brethren and leave you alone. These are no ordinary trees, nor are these ordinary saplings. Long ago, in what you call the Cursed Age, an ancient queen whose name is lost to time imprisoned the souls of her enemies within these trunks. These saplings contain the souls of your people. The ones the trees have taken, it is the only way to replenish their losses. What can we do to stop this? Vurtsk spends a few more seconds listening intently and nodding. Give them Chief Grin Wizard Games, the only responsible for their troubles, one life to save many. But that bastard has already rebelled against the king. There's no way we'll be able to bring him here. Failing that, an equal tribute, another noble. Apparently they're very good trees, used to standing around all day little. Let's vote on it, shall we? Can the give counters malicious to the trees or refuse to sacrifice anyone? You know, we're not sacrificing anyone. Go ahead and vote if you must. We will not be sacrificing anyone today. There has been enough death. Your nobles breathe a sigh of collective relief, but Berserk's echoey voice overtakes the silence like a storm cloud at an outdoor birthday party. But now it ends. Well then, the trees will take your people by force. Berserk wanders off just as the trees start to uproot, seemingly without a care in the world. The angry plants, suddenly adorned with sneering faces carved into the trunks, lumber towards you. Your soldiers form ranks, buying you and the other nobles time to flee. You saddle your horses and ride back to the capital as fast as they'll carry you. Meanwhile, the trees, now completely uncontained, rampage across the east. You do little but sit and stew every day. More peasants are carried off to the grove to await their grisly fate. At least the nobles are grateful you kept them safe. The entire area surrounding the grove is turned into no man's land with entry forbidden until penalty of death. You can only hope that your descendants will heed the warnings you leave them. Okay, what's left? Mustering an army. Yeah, there goes my stability, it's fine. Along the southern border, a few swords flash in sunlight. Some soldiers mill about randomly, looking scared. The Grandees' troops are gathering, but it's distinctly unimpressive. This is the best force we could muster, is it? No, as a matter of fact, this is only the beginning. I've considered several proposals to further bolster our army for the trials ahead. We want to conscript a mass of peasant levies, call upon a holy order of the Ninth to join the cause. The existing southern army will be enough. Yeah, that seems like an appropriate response. Don't know if they're there anymore, but... yeah. You need a better army. The peasants are just doing useless things like harvesting grain. We'll tell them to beat their plowshares into swords as the ninth god intended. The Grandees pull peasants off the fields and thrust spears into their calloused hands. This will mean a few bad harvests for sure, but the South can survive that, right? Okay, in time to auction on buildings again. Go ahead. What are you voting for? To whoop your trade, and also, okay. Ah, interesting. Wow. Very interesting. So the counts have upped their trade, and the Grandees has upped their faith. Everyone is currently rebelling. Lovely. Yeah, I think this is the end. Your martial sagas into the throne room. Stinking of booze, she gives you a lopsided grin. Heard the news? Neither brother, you're drunk. No, just a little Danian courage, Sol. The Count has sent word that they're joining the rebellion against you, Majesty. All 3 regions have now turned against you. Do you know what that means? It means this is the end. It means we are royally, no pun intended, screwed. The capital garrison couldn't take on one of the regions single-handedly, let alone all 3. Historically, the king of the kingdom had only survived by playing the regions against each other. To unite them all in common cause, the hatred of you, well, it's no mean feat. You are absolutely unmatched when it comes to pissing people off, Your Majesty. A world beater. It's nice to know I'm good at something. Consider this my resignation. There's no fun in an unwinnable war. He strides out of the throne room without looking back. Yeah, the next few days, you wait for the end to come. The united armies of the rebels sweep through the Crownlands, meeting barely any resistance along the way. Soon, they're cramped in a vast mass outside the capital. Against such overwhelming numbers, your walls can't hold out. The ladders go up and the enemy soldiers pour in. As dawn rises, Grandi and Thury strolls into your throne room, backed by soldiers from all across the kingdom, cavalries from the south, warriors from the north, and knights from the east. So, you won. Just like I did, you made it pretty easy. With a triumphant smirk, Grandi and Thury makes a sharp gesture. The southern soldiers step forward, swords at the ready. May the ninth god have mercy on your soul, sinner. Fight. Empty hands can do little against armor and swords. You're given a vicious beating, and the fight drains out of you. Instead of killing you, the soldiers seize you and drag you down into your own dungeon. Your ordeal isn't over. While imprisoned in your tiny cell, you hear the guards gossiping. Apparently the chiefs, counts, and grandees are already fighting over your vacated throne. The grandees and the counts are the strongest, richest, and have the most support from the church, so this throne will go to one of them. After a week rotting in your own dungeon, you're marched out onto a public platform, jeered at by thousands of peasants. You cringe under a barrage of rotten fruit and fresh dung. You can see Grandi and Thury sitting in the front row grinning. The rebels have run, the capital has been taken, you are a former king. The executioner waits silently, holding an axe bigger than you. If you have any last word, now's the time. Well, I'll be heading off then. You place your head on the block, the executioner lifts his massive axe. Wait, you suddenly thought of much better last words. You turn to the executioner to tell him, but the axe is already falling. Thunk. Your head bounces into Grand Anthony's lap, and your reign comes to a gruesome end. So, who will be the successor? Damn. Of course, the counts vote for the counts. Is that all the votes? To if it's tied. Okay, yes. Alfonso. After the entire kingdom rose against him, King Popdad was dragged out of the palace and decapitated in the city square. The chiefs joined the rebellion alongside the grandees, but nobody considered them a true contender for the crown. The counts joined the rebellion at the last minute, either finally fed up with the king, or perhaps desperate to be winning on the winning side. The grandees launched a rebellion that toppled the king and devastated the kingdom. In the aftermath, nobody could stop them from taking the throne, and Alfonso was crowned the half-hearted cheers of the traumatized common folk. Amazing.
So
3 years
we've
and 6
learned that you're a
months.
terrible king. Got it.
Yeah. That's twice now today I've died.
Oops.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really fun. I'll probably stream this again tomorrow if I have time. Well, that's probably all I'm going to stream today.